Oh, hi there, welcome. I'm just out at the local woodland at the moment near me, collecting some firewood, hoping to get obviously some decent wood to take home, and also some birch bark as well, so I can get the fire going. The reason why I'm going back home is I want to do a Dutch oven cook today, and that'll be Dutch oven bread. I'm also going to do a stew to accompany that, and so I'm just going to head back out, get a little bit more wood, and then I'll head home and we'll get a fire going and we'll get the bread on. What I want to say about the Dutch oven, it's a cast iron oven that you can use in an open fire or on coals, and it's completely different than your conventional oven at home, whereas you can just turn it on, set it to a certain temperature and cook. It's very hard for me to tell you what temperature it's going to be in the Dutch oven and to regulate that heat. It's really just through experience and your eye that you'll get some practice in, and you'll start to understand how it works. I've got no doubt at all I'll burn the bread a little bit today. It's only the second time I've ever done it. As long as I produce something edible, I'm very happy, and I wanted to do a stew at the same time just so that I've got something to have with the bread. It is about experience, it's about having a bit of fun, and it's okay if it doesn't work out. It's just about coming out to the woodland and enjoying a little bit of peace and quiet, having a walk, getting some wood, and then going and doing something fun. So hopefully you enjoy it, and I'm just going to head back out now, and I'll see you in a wee while. So cheers. Okay, so I've been out the woods, I've collected a little bit of wood. I got some birch bark while I was out there, and simply was get the fire going now before I do my bread mix. Because I just want to get a good heat going so that I can get my yeast warming up and activated, and get my flour mixed together as well. So I can get it proving. Okay, I've got 500 grams of strong white flour, 2 teaspoons of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt in here. I've got 300 mils of lukewarm water and 14 grams of dried yeast. And I've also got 25 grams of fat, which in this case is butter. The salt, the sugar are already in here, so it's just a case now of mixing it up and kneading it, and then after that we're going to prove it. So I'll just start this off. So this is going to be a bit of a messy job. It's going to take me about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll just show you the process to start off with, and then I'll get some kneading done and I'll come back to you. Okay, I'll come back to you in a while. So that's just been 2 minutes in the bowl, just mixing it all together. I'm just taking it out So I've really got now a good 10 minutes of just doing this, just giving it a good push out there. Just use your hands, mix it up. If I need more flour, if it gets a bit too wet, I'll just sprinkle some down here. If I need more water, I can always add some as well, but at this moment of time I'm quite pleased with this. But we'll see how it works out after a good 10 minutes or so. Okay, given that about 10 minutes, it's exactly how I want it now. It's nice, it's not sticking to my hands or anything like that, so I'm just going to put it into shape. Just going to flatten it out a bit. Now I've got my Dutch oven, I've got some parchment paper in here, I've got a double layer. So I'm just going to put this in here, push it down, put the lid on, and simply it's going to just sit next to the fire so it gets warm, and I'm just going to prove this bread now and let it rise. That can take anything from an hour to 2 hours. I'm going to head out to the woods very shortly and just get a bit more wood. But we'll put that next to the fire, and I'm going to get the stew on as well now, which is going to be a sirloin steak stew with sweet potatoes, shallots, a little bit of Guinness in there and carrots. So we'll get that going in a minute, but I'm just going to put this next to the fire just so it gets the warmth. Not too close, just so we get some warmth in there, and we're going to let that prove and rise for an hour or so. Okay, the fire is going, the bread is in the Dutch oven, it's proving. I'm about to go and do my stew. For that I've bought a new billycan because my other one broke. That was a set of 3 and it was the largest one, and this cost as much as the 3, so I'm hoping this is better quality. It is a brand, Trangia, I think that's the way to say it, Trangia. It's made in Sweden. It feels a lot more solid. It's got a lot thicker handle on the top here, and it's got this little bit here which I think will help keep it well balanced when you've got it suspended over a fire. Today I'm just going to put it on my griddle, and I'm going to go and get the stew put in there, and I think while the bread's proving, cook the stew, then when the bread's cooking, continue to cook the stew. I just want to cook it over time, get it nice and soft and delicious, and let's hope it works out well. So let's go and do that. Okay folks, I've cut my veg up. We've got sweet potatoes, carrots, shallots and garlic. So I'm just going to put it into the billycan now. There's a little bit of water in there, and we'll see how much we'll get in. I'm going to put the meat in last, but I just want to prepare that first. I'm going to do it a little bit different. So this is a bit of Guinness now coming in. There we are. So I'm just going to put that on the fire, and then I'm going to go and get that meat prepared, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Okay, that's the meat cut. Just going to put some flour in a bowl. That was the bowl I used earlier for the bread. Chuck a bit of flour in there. And I'm just going to put the meat in there and give it a coating with the flour. And I'm just going to cook that off now in my pan, and then I'll add it to the stew, and that's going to help thicken the stew sauce as the cooking process is being undertaken. So I shouldn't get any lumps in the stew because it's all, the flour is all around the meat here. So I'm going to get that cooked off. So that's the steak in the skillet pan. I'm just browsing it off. It's been coated with flour. I'm just going to give it a wee cook there. Here we are. So let's get that cooking. Okay, the stew has just started to tick over now. It's just bubbling very slowly. Now if I just move it along a little bit, it'll go a bit more. Don't want to overdo it, don't want it to the water to come out the lid and put the fire out there. And then that bread's really risen now, so I'm actually going to knock it back and just follow the same process that I've just done. Let it rise again, but then I'm going to start to cook it once it's risen. So I've double proved it really. So let's go and have a look at that. So at this stage now, I'm just going to knock that back. Look at that, it's perfect. Really is very nice, really nice bread that. I'm very, very happy. So I'll just knock that back. Put a bit of oil in there, and I'm going to put the bread back in. Squash it down a wee bit, put a little bit of oil in and around that. Sprinkle the flour on the top. Just going to put this parchment paper over it. So I don't want it to burn on the top or catch. I did it last time and the bread was nice and edible, but it burnt on the top. No guarantees that it's going to work, but I'm just going to put it back in the same position now. And just repeat the process. But at this stage now, what I'm wanting to do is get more wood on the fire, because I'm wanting to build up a good bed of embers that I can move across. So there we are, stew's going, another tea brewing, bread's double proving, and probably another half an hour I'm going to start cooking the actual bread. So I just want to get that fire going now really well. Move the billy can to the side, just let it tick over nicely, and sun's out, rays coming through there. I'm in the shade here. I do apologise for the car noise throughout the video, I really can't do anything about it. The road is just over there, and I didn't realise when I set this area up here just how busy it is, but nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. So I'm lucky to have what I've got, and we've got a little bit of peace and quiet at the moment, so we'll just enjoy that. So the bread's had a chance to double prove itself. So you can see that's really doubled in size again. The stew is just cooking away nicely, and we'll put that back, and I'm just simply going to rearrange the logs now and get that bread cooking. So what I've done is I've scooped some of the coals underneath the Dutch oven, and I've moved the Dutch oven closer to the fire. I've put some fresh wood on, and we've actually got a fire going next to the oven to get as much heat in as I can without it being completely direct. And I will periodically turn the Dutch oven around, and as not to just get heat in from one side and then burn the bread. And probably every 5 minutes I'm just going to give it a wee turn and keep adding wood, keep trying to put coals in around it. And I might even scoop some more coals up and put them on the top there. I don't want to overdo it, I don't want to make it too hot, so it's about regulating the heat as best you can. Let's see how it works out. Okay, I'm afraid it's bad news. I can smell burning. I think I had it too close to the fire. I did turn it around a lot. Oh yeah, I can smell some burning smell there, but we'll just have a... It's been about 50 minutes. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's going to be burnt on the outside, but maybe okay. So long as I get something edible from it, I'll be quite happy today. So you can see pretty burnt there, not too bad there. Burnt on the bottom. And take that paper, so that didn't work. Maybe need to get a trivet or something like that. But what I'll do, I'll let it cool down and we'll try and go for the the best part of it, and see if we get something edible from that. So right, so it's not too bad. I have scraped off some of that burnt part with this knife, and I think that it might be salvageable. We're just going to have a little cut into here and just see if it even looks like bread inside. That's fine. Hmm. 2 teaspoons of salt and the 2 teaspoons of sugar, but you really get that saltiness through it. It's nice. You can see it's just steaming away there. It's cooked. It's fine. I think I've saved that. In fact, I'm quite pleased with that. Second time I've done bread in the Dutch oven. Maybe just a little bit less hot, that's all. But I'm actually quite happy with that, so I'm going to go and dish up my stew, and I'm going to have some fire cooked stew and some nice Dutch oven bread. Wow, beautiful, beautiful. Right, it's time for lunch. I am so pleased that this has worked, actually. Perhaps pleased and surprised. The bread's okay, it was quite tasty. There's the stew. Oh my, that is nice. Wow. Oh, that sauce is lovely. Wow. That sweet potatoes really coming through. I think the sauce is thickened up enough for me, so that's okay. Oops. I'll just cut a bit of bread off. It's nice and soft. A bit of butter, it's not melted I'm afraid, or soft, so it's just going to have to go on like that. But there we have it. My stew, sirloin steak or beef stew, and some homemade Dutch oven bread. Very satisfying way to cook. I'm not going to lie, it was very, very hard work today. I was insisted on having that griddle there so I could put the billycan on top of it, and kind of got in the way with what I wanted to do with the Dutch oven, but it's worked, and that's the most important thing. So thanks very much for watching this.